Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel here on Jake's Gardening. And today's video, sorry for my fumbling mouth. In today's video, I'm just going to give you a sort of update on my giant pumpkin plants and my would-be pumpkins. I've had a lot of issues. I'll explain that further on in the video. As you can see behind me, that's my dad's sunflower patch. There's some more along the side of my pumpkin patch. Well, anyway, that's enough of my jibber jabber. Let's get into it. Okay, so first things first. In my last video, or at least I believe it was my last video, I pollinated a pumpkin flower. It did not take, and this plant seems to have sort of given up. There's a ton of weeds here that I gotta pull. I'm gonna do that later today. I'm gonna wet the ground down so they're easy to pull out, and then I'll pull them. The pumpkin was somewhere around there, but it just aborted. There was one I tried to set further back there that I didn't make a video about or mention anything about it. But neither of them took. I don't know what to do with this plant. It seems to have sort of just given up. The leaves are wilting and everything, even with the shade cloth. It wasn't doing that before, but it is now. The main vine looks kind of crappy. It's not sticking up like it used to. It's just sort of inching along, literally. It's only growing maybe half an inch to an inch a day. It's got tiny little leaves along the vine. I've got these two secondaries here shaded. They got some female flowers on them. Might pollinate those and get a few decent porch pumpkins from this plant. But other than that, that's pretty much it for this plant. I'm kind of disappointed. Get out of my way, cat. Little kitty keeps jumping up on me. Well, anyway, that's just about it for that plant. I don't think I'm going to be really doing much for that plant anymore this year, because it's just, I don't know what's wrong with it. And then there's this plant. It looks excellent. I'm very, very pleased with it, except for one thing. I tried to set a pumpkin on this one a few days after the one over there. Unfortunately, it did not take. As you can see, here is the main vine. Some of the leaves are a bit scorched up, but you can see it's still doing pretty good. I have it trained sideways because I haven't set up the shade for this next section yet. The plant is looking phenomenal. The secondaries, the furthest back secondaries on each side, are probably about 12 feet long each, maybe 15 feet. What I did is I trained all the secondaries to go backwards, and then once they reached the back of the area, I trained them to go to the side, so I get as much length out of each secondary as I really can, to provide more nutrients to whatever fruit I might get. But it's pretty late in the season. I don't really think I'll get anything spectacular. Here's the fruit I tried to set right here on the main vine, but as you can see, it's pretty shriveled, and that blossom looks terrible. So I don't think we're going to be getting anything from this one. Rest in peace. But, oops, tripped on something. I did pollinate one on the secondary. I think it was the day before yesterday. I made this sort of makeshift cooler thing to keep the heat in. I put an ice pack out here under the cooler once it gets to be about noon, so that I can keep it cool in there. I don't want this one aborting. So as you can see, the blossom looks fairly nice. It's not shriveling up as quickly as the other fruit. So I don't really know if that means anything, but I'm gonna just hope it does. That fruit under there has about doubled in size since I pollinated. Maybe not quite that much growth, but I'm a lot more hopeful about this one. Seems to be kind of green though, so we'll see. Growing a pumpkin on a secondary vine is never optimal. You should always aim to get one on the main vine, but I couldn't do that because I tried twice on the other plant and once on this one, and any female flowers that may be in the main vine right now are way too late. I mean, I can get a decent porch pumpkin out of this plant, I think, this year. A couple 100 pounds, but nothing like I was aiming for. Just didn't get a pollination soon enough. Right now, if I cover this fruit back up, do that off camera, and you see here, I just covered it up and put the shovel on top to help weigh it down so it doesn't blow around in the wind. As you can see, I kind of packed the dirt around the base to help retain the cool air inside. Now maybe we should go. I'll give you one more look from the front. Nice big plant, maybe approaching 300 square feet in size. I'm gonna just give you a quick little look at the back of the plant. Just walking around here. See a soaker end. I just attach a hose and put it in there and let it soak the whole plant. Because the pH in my water this year is much lower. It's at a good pH actually. So as you can see, I had that secondary coming backwards, and then it kind of got close to the end, so then I trained it towards the edge. Sort of doing the same with that one. Then I go over here. Same story. Although like the main vine, this one's kind of scorched for a few days, and then it got a little cooler, and now it's looking more normal. Stump still looks pretty good and healthy. Right there's the stump. It's cracking as it expands, but that's to be expected. There's a few old leaves like this one I gotta cut off here soon. The bugs that I had on the plant last year aren't nearly as much of a problem. There'll be one or two every couple days, and what I do is I just look through the plant, and if I find any, I'll just pick them off and squash them. Don't want them reproducing. So, anyway, that's about it. Except, I'll show you what I'm fertilizing the plant right now. Just this phosphorus-based fertilizer. I know it's Miracle Grow, and you're not really supposed to use Miracle Grow on giant pumpkins, I guess, but it doesn't really matter what it is, as long as you know what the ingredients are. Let me see if I can find the NPK. Come on, where is it? Saw it on here once. Oh, there it is. See, it's a 4-12-4 solution. So it's pretty high in phosphorus, which is good for when the plant is fruiting. Get out of here real quick. This shade cloth is kind of a pain in the butt when I'm working around the plant, burying vines and such. But it's really been a saving grace when it comes to the plant, because around here where I live, it gets up to 110 degrees occasionally. during the heat of the day, so I have to keep the plant cool. Sometimes I have to mist it. I have been misting it actually the last couple days. Well, really just yesterday, because I was trying to help keep that fruit cool. Well, keep the whole plant cool so that the plant wouldn't just freak out because it's so hot and abort. I think that's what happened with the other fruits. It's just the plant got too hot and it couldn't support the fruit. Anyway, fingers crossed on that one over there. I think I can hit 500 pounds this year. I think that might be a maximum because when growing giant pumpkins, you really want to have the month of July for growing the fruit. But I completely missed that mark because the fruits kept aborting. Well, anyway, that's pretty much all I have for you today. Hope this was interesting or useful or whatever. I'll catch you next time.